Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I have some Christmas junk journals to show you today. I've been busy the past week and a half or so making these ahead of time for the busier fall and Christmas season. I have a friend who last year requested that I make her a junk journal for this year. And I had been thinking about it even last month. Okay, we're into August now. So I thought I need to get busy on these. So I don't mean to rush the holiday. I like each season. I love fall and I love Halloween, harvest, all that kind of festive fall stuff, pumpkins and so forth. But since it is a busy time of year, also in preparing for Christmas, I decided to go ahead and get these junk journals done. Now I had a little bit of time. We weren't too busy yet with school. And so here they are. So I'm just going to do a quick show of these and let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear comments or how you like to do your junk journals. I've recently found out maybe a year or two ago about December dailies. So you can have a little book and you can record the special happenings of the month in a book. So not just Christmas or right around that time, but the whole season and the different activities that happen in that season can be recorded in a December book versus maybe just throwing it in your other journal or just focusing on the actual holiday. This is a place to commemorate all the fun happenings of the month. So, first of all, let me show you that or explain that these three, this, and this are all made from the manila envelopes that are folded in half, and those are my covers. I've gone super easy this time. A lot of times I do the hard bound book cover where you take the front and back from a book, gut the book, and use the front and back for your cover. That's great and it makes a good book and it's very sturdy, but I just didn't want to invest that much time. I have lots of paper, I had cards, I had things to use. I wanted to get these books done, but I really didn't want to take a ton of time preparing them. And they're fun to do, but to make that whole bound spine thing in a thicker book with several signatures was more of a time commitment than I can spend right now. So I did these quick ones. So this one is a standard or narrow traveler's notebook size. I just tied most of these with ribbon pieces that I already had on hand. And I did go back and when I was done with them, I just did a Mod Podge finish on them. It's a little slicker and I feel like it holds down the paper embellishments a little bit more securely. And I didn't want to do tape because I didn't really want them that glossy. I wanted a little bit more of a matte finish. I got a lot of these pictures from books I had bought last spring at our area. The library system has a used book fair, and it's in a humongous venue, and there's books everywhere. So I went to the holiday book section and picked out, a bag full, maybe 6 books, hardback books, that featured Christmas things. And so, for example, I would just tear out a page that I like and I use them in the book. So I have a lot of that. I had a lot already torn out, and they're beautiful pictures. It seems like a shame to waste the books, but then again, in a junk journal, I think the pictures might actually be enjoyed more because you can use it, you can look over it, and there's other things there. Whereas some of these pictures, let me find another one. I feel like sometimes the books get a little bit outdated and the beauty of the individual pictures are lost. So, I can't find them now. They're all over here. For example, maybe the teddy bears. That might not be a thing that's real current right now or trendy, but you fold it in half and you use it as a junk journal embellishment page or accent page. It can be savored, it can be looked at, appreciated individually, and it adds maybe kind of a little bit of a vintage quality to have an older book page. So that's what I did. So a lot of these are cut out from the Christmas books that I bought last spring. And it's really kind of fun to tear the pages off and cut them up and just use them randomly. So you can see here on this cardstock, I put a picture of a wreath. These are cookies that were on a different page. And then this came from, I think, one of our state's magazines that are published and distributed for free. I'll just do a quick page through. So here I left this torn, but I loved that picture. I thought it was so cute. There's like little pipe cleaner candy canes on this little mini tree and a little pipe cleaner, or whatever you call it now, chenille strip or whatever, Santa. And I liked the blue and the green together. I think this green's kind of pretty bold, so I liked softening it up a bit with some pictures. Anyway, I did a lot of coffee stained paper in these. I like the crinkliness, and I like how it kind of ages it a little bit, adds a little nostalgic touch. Here's a book page from a children's Christmas story book, a new scrapbook page. I loved that paper. So it kind of alternates between a picture and a coffee stained and a scrapbook accent. This is fun to write on. I like to put these popcorn bags in. I just cut off the bottom so it can be used as a pocket. These were previously tea or coffee stained. And there's another one of those kinds of pictures that just make a fun accent in a little book like this. But a whole book of that, maybe after a while you might be like, okay, that's enough. But this way, the beauty of that and the maybe whimsical or the nostalgia that stirs up can be fun. So I left my junk journals this year for Christmas pretty bare, like a naked journal, some YouTubers will call it, because it really is just ready for the recipient to add their own embellishments. They can write on it, they can add numbering, they can add washi tape, they can cut out more magazine pictures, they can add photos, maybe a brochure from a Christmas event that you do. This illustration I think is so pretty. I like the drawings or illustrations, not drawings, I guess, exactly. It's from this book, The Night Before Christmas, which I found used. And I just love the illustrations by John Stephen Gurney. I've used them all up except for this one. But I just think they add a beautiful touch and kind of a playful touch to these journals. And it seems like I'm getting a reflective glare here. I'm trying to turn that light a little bit. There we go. Maybe that's better. I hope so. Anyway, and then these are all bound with waxed linen thread in the pamphlet style binding. In this case, you can see the binding. In the case of this book, I had it covered up. Not the binding, but the stitching. So they're all very similarly designed. I'm trying to get that out of the way. I have a very limited desk space, countertop space here. So, trying to get that where I can have this showing. There we go. So I bought a few pieces of scrapbook paper. I had some from last year. I went out and bought maybe 6. I really tried to limit myself. I had the tea stained and coffee stained paper already on hand. I had these book pages on hand, so they were super easy to throw together without buying a whole lot of new stuff, which I did not want to do because I've been buying other crafty things and journaling things, and I didn't want to spend more money. This one I liked leaving torn. Sometimes I trim off that rough edge, but I kind of like the mix of papers and feels to the paper like a crispy page, a crinkly page versus a smooth page. I like the texture and the variety. And there's a mix of more trendy, I guess you could call it scrapbook paper versus a more nostalgic, traditional looking Christmas scene. The blend to me is really fun. It keeps it from getting too boring. It's not too dark. If I used all vintage look, that's super fun. I love that. But I also, like I just said, I like adding the pops of color. And I just think it creates more visual interest and it makes the book funner to use. So, and a lot of the scenes are really cute. This one is, like I just said, pretty plain. I could add more washi to that, but I also think that the person that might get this would enjoy adding their own washi tapes to it. So I've left this one pretty bare bones, except for the really fun, beautiful pages. Don't you just love that? It's so cute. It's got little candles, little tiny ornaments. I think that is such a sweet little Christmas scene that was in that book. And what I did with these, I just made a little note to myself that, like say, this is 34 sheets with 68 sides, a naked journal in that it's not fully decorated inside. And I just made that note to myself. And then this one, I did a stretchy elastic band. I love to use the stretch elastic to tie my junk journals closed because you can just slide them on and off. You don't have to tie and retie. Got this one at Joann's. Thought it was really pretty. It's like a ruffly look, stretchy, and I added this little embellishment, which are some buttons and little jingle bells. This is the larger size one of the two that I've made. This is a manila envelope. Excuse me. And I put scrapbooking paper on it after I had sewn in the signature. And then I Mod Podged it after I had selected some more photos to put on the cover. This one features like pearly looking buttons on an ornament. So I cut out another similar looking ornament there that was maybe on a page next to that or something. And then so it's mixing here the traditional look of Christmas, the holidays, with kind of a more trendy looking scrapbook paper, a more modern look. That's clipping in my notes. And then here I just cut out another page that had a tree with golden ornaments on it. I love this Christmas tree paper, but I kind of felt like it was just a little too much and it was maybe not as fun to look at, so I went with just the paper. So I added a little bit of an accent to it by putting this picture here, kind of cut out to look like a photo with the white edge, and did the same thing here, but put it off center or till oblique placement of that. And then this just looked so cozy. It just makes you want to go into that house, doesn't it? With the lights glowing and the sky getting dark and the what are those called? Luminaries kind of under the snow. This one has a lot of music note pages, again taken from Christmas books. Cute new scrapbook paper with little Santas and elves and cute little Christmas trees. I like the kind of non-traditional colors thrown in. Obviously we think of green and red for Christmas, the traditional colors. I like using that for sure, and I also like maybe a little twist on that. So this more turquoisey or aqua-y color with the red and green I think are fun. And now this one I did put a little bit more washi tape. I had a lot of Christmas themed ones in red and green, so I just added that to, you know, every page or so, just for a little more color. And then I just cut out kind of randomly this tree branch, Christmas tree branch. I think there was a little bit of a slight tear in my coffee stained paper, and I didn't want that to get torn, so I just reinforced it here. Which maybe not. Maybe I just put it there. I have done that before though, so it just kind of covers that and makes it stronger and won't tear. So a wreath, popcorn bag, and washi again. Here I took a envelope and glued that on and then made it as a flip spot, so you can put photos, whatever you want to in there, or a Christmas letter or something. And then a lot of use of the Christmas pages from the books, coffee stained paper, some extra pieces of scrapbook paper I put here and there for some color accent, so the pages weren't too bland looking as you page through. This red and cream. There's a little doily just for accent. More washi. I loved this batch of coffee stain. There's a lot of texture in there in different colors. Sometimes excuse me, I have a thing going with my voice today, sorry. Sometimes it looks more even and sometimes it's kind of splotchy. So I kind of like that splotchy effect. It's a cute little snowman made out of coconut and marshmallows. More scrapbooking paper. Like I said, a lot of music themed stuff in here, but that and the washi and the paper there and in the pages used, but that's not really the theme, but that kind of is a element that's throughout this book. And so with that music you have some of the lyrics to some of the Christmas songs. Here I put a strip of scrapbook paper that had been trimmed off and just embellished that a little bit, so it wasn't too much tan. And then this, I keep it with my washi. I don't know that it's really washi. It's almost more like a Scotch type tape, just a dispenser thing, but it's sparkly, but it has a different finish or feel to it than washi tape does. And then here again, another illustration from that same book I showed you earlier. This one is so sweet. It's the husband and the wife, and they see Santa in there loading the stockings, and he's telling her, shh, you know, be quiet, we don't want to startle him, but he sees them and he's looking over. And I just think they're cute, you know. They're just this married couple, they have kids, and they're finding Santa themselves. Anyway, more washi, more music. There's a strip of washi. I like to use these little pieces that have been trimmed off because they add a color accent, makes it a little more visually interesting. And I just think those Santas and little elves are too cute, or maybe they're little kids. I don't know if they're elves or kids. But anyway, they're cute. So here you go. Basic idea throughout all of the books. And again, the trimmed popcorn bag for a pocket. I added a clip here. Forget what those are called. Bulldog clip, something. And I made a little shaker. It is my dream to someday go on a sleigh ride, a horse-drawn sleigh ride. I think that would be awesome. I don't really have a bucket list because I feel like my life will continue after this life. But one thing I'd like to do in this life is go on a sleigh ride. So anyway, I liked that picture. It was from a Christmas card. So I put this kind of softer green, shimmery thingies, gosh, I can't think, sequins in there. And it's just for fun. Purely for fun. No purpose other than the visual pleasure it gives and the fun of shaking it. Go through these quickly, get the idea. Lots of washi, lots of photos from picture books. Here I cut out the directions on how to make a stained glass craft. Put that there, and I did leave this pocket where it could be opened to insert more memorabilia, and I put a Christmas card that is not used. It was sent to us in the mail, kind of a promotional thing, but I thought that might be a fun discovery for the recipient of this book. This one has 38 pages, so I counted the pages, so I think that makes 76 sides if I counted that right. So if you're using it for a December daily, you'd have a couple pages per day that you could use easily. I didn't limit it to the like 15 folded, so you had 30 or 31 because, you know, you might write more and want to attach more. And so this I did not tie. I didn't tie it long enough, cut it long enough to make a bow, but I liked just adding that little pin accent there. So these other two books are very similar. I won't go through them because they all have really a similar element. This one has been requested by a friend of mine named Christy. Hi Christy, if you're watching. This was made from a calendar page, so it's a little sturdier fabric, and I'm just going to show you here that what I did was I surrounded the folded envelope with that calendar page and then went over that with this adorable, beautiful poinsettia scrapbook paper, and then I just added the gold for a little bit of pizzazz. Also, I had put this gold pear on there, and I kind of wanted to bring out some sparkle to the otherwise more matte looking finish. did the same thing here. And here you can see the wax linen thread stitching. It's pretty subtle, blends in pretty well. And on the back, because there was not a complete corner here, I had used a picture from it last year. I just put more paper there and cut out this mug. And so it kind of gives it a little bit of a collage effect, but not totally. I didn't want to go overboard with that because I felt like there was enough visual interest with the pretty picture. Here's another shaker on a tea-stained thing. And the different thing here, maybe that's not in the other book, is that I used this kind of fun little circular paper clip. Oh, and then this is a fun thing. You can cut out cookies or Christmas season desserts and just accent a page with that. I mean, it looks so good. You just want to reach in and take a bite. I've got more of those fun illustrations from the one Night Before Christmas book. And a quick thumb through and you'll get the basic idea. I'm sure you've seen enough to get the idea of how I've done these junk journals. My last one is more of a gold and sparkly theme on the cover. I will just show you quickly on this one. I had the torn page there, which was purposeful. I wanted the texture there of the torn page. And then the scene on the inside of the book is from a spread in a Christmas book. But I added, and I realize now I need to Mod Podge over those, I added a couple tear out pictures of ornaments to just break up that big bold scenery and create a little more visual interest. So I did this little bird in the nest there, cut out this from a Christmas card, and here is the seam where the two pages had come together. And that house looks really alluring to me. It's like someplace I would want to go at Christmas time, so I thought that was a fun inside cover. And then on the back, more pictures from the Christmas books, and again, more of a collage effect here and there. And the torn pages just for the visual look, the texture. This one has 88 sides, so there were like 44 front and back. And I have some pictures from a different Christmas storybook, as well as the tabletop Christmas books that I used a lot of pictures out of. Here's a little card there. The other side is the front of the card. This opens up right here, so you get a really fun picture from that Night Before Christmas storybook with the reindeer going to the rooftops. And I chose these. I'm just not like necessarily a huge Santa proponent. I'm not against that tradition, but I think it is part of our culture and part of really in a lot of countries a worldwide Christmas tradition. And I just liked the nostalgic touch that it added. So there's the front of that one that I showed you a second ago. And so different size pages, scrapbook pages. This one's fun. The splatter effect with the little darker coloring around the edge of the splatter. Again, a sleigh ride. There's a theme here for me. Lots of use of washi. Some torn embellishments just to break it up. This was fun though. Pine tree with little pine tree cookies. And that is about it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking at these. I hope I'm not rushing the Christmas holiday too much. I promise I'll put these away and focus on fall activities. But this relieves a sense of responsibility and fun burden for me. But now I have this out of the way. And like I said, lots of things coming up this fall. So it was good to get this done at the end of summer. And I did, and I hope that it was fun for you to see and maybe has given you some ideas for doing a December daily for yourself. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.